So, you're putting together a new PC or maybe just popping in a new SSD. You've probably seen it before, this weird little prompt asking you to choose between MBR and GPT. What in the world do those even mean? Well, turns out this is one of the most critical choices you can make for your PC today, and we're going to break down exactly why.
You know the feeling. You're right there, ready to install that fresh OS, and then, bam, a prompt stops you dead in your tracks. Initialize as MBR or GPT. It feels like some deep technical jargon you can just click past. But here's the kicker. If you're trying to get Windows 11 running, making the wrong choice here will literally block the entire process.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the old standard, MBR, and see why it got replaced by GPT. Then we'll get right to the heart of it, why this choice is so important right now. And stick around because I'm going to show you the pro-level trick to convert your drive without losing a single file, plus the one final switch in your BIOS you absolutely cannot forget to flip. Really, you can think of this as old tech versus new tech. It's a tale of two standards. Both MBR and GPT do the same basic job, organizing the data on your drive, but one was designed back when floppy disks were a thing, and the other was built for the absolutely massive drives we use today. To put it simply, MBR, which stands for Master Boot Record, and GPT, GUID partition table, are basically the table of contents for your hard drive. They tell your computer where to find everything, from your family photos to the essential files it needs to even start up.
All right, let's take a little trip back in time and talk about the original MBR. For decades, this was it. This was the only way. It's literally the foundation that the entire world of personal computing was built on.
And when I say old, I mean old. MBR came out in 1983, designed to handle a then massive 10 megabyte hard drive. I mean, that's ancient history in the tech world. It served us well for a long time, but once we started getting multi-terabyte drives in the 2010s, MBR's age really started to show.
You know, this analogy from a Reddit user just nails it. MBR is like having only one single copy of the map to all your data, and it's stored in one very specific place. If that one spot gets damaged or corrupted, well, your computer is totally lost, and your data is pretty much gone.
So, yeah, MBR's age led to some pretty big problems. It was tied to old-school BIOS systems, it had that single point of failure we just talked about, it was limited to just 4 partitions. But the real killer, the thing that truly made it obsolete for modern PCs, was that hard size limit.
2 terabytes. That's it. That's the absolute limit. MBR uses a 32-bit system, which means it literally can't count high enough to see any storage past the 2 terabyte mark. So if you plug a brand new 4 terabyte drive into your machine and format it as MBR, you just threw half your money away. That extra space is completely invisible and unusable.
And this is where our hero, the new standard, GPT, comes into the picture. It was built from the ground up to fix everything that was wrong with MBR and to handle the kind of tech we're using now and will be using in the future.
I mean, just look at this table. It's not even a fair fight. MBR maxes out at 2 terabytes. GPT, it can handle 9.7 times zettabytes. To put that in perspective, that's almost 10 billion terabytes. It's a number so ridiculously huge, we probably won't hit that limit in our lifetimes. GPT also gives you 128 partitions, and most importantly, it keeps backup copies of your drive's map, which makes it way more reliable.
So the bottom line is this. GPT gives you basically unlimited drive sizes, more partitions than you could ever need, and it has reliability baked right in. Plus, it works hand in hand with modern UEFI firmware for faster boot times and way better security. In every single way, it's just better.
Okay, so GPT is clearly the winner. But you might be sitting there thinking, my computer works just fine. Why should I even care about this? Well, the reason this matters right now can be summed up in just 2 words: Windows 11.
And this right here is the big one. This is the critical takeaway. If you want to install or upgrade to Windows 11, your main system drive has to be GPT. This is not a suggestion or a recommendation. It is a hard requirement. An MBR drive simply will not work. Period. And the reason for this is that Windows 11 also requires something called UEFI firmware. That's the modern replacement for the old BIOS you might be used to. Think of UEFI and GPT as a team, a dynamic duo. They're designed to work together to enable critical security features like Secure Boot, which is another absolute must-have for Windows 11. So, what's your drive running? Curious? You can actually check in about 15 seconds. It's super easy. Just right-click your Start button and open Disk Management. Then right-click your main disk, go to Properties, and click on the Volumes tab.
It'll say it right there in plain English, MBR or GPT. All right, so what happens if your drive says MBR? First, don't panic. And whatever you do, do not wipe your drive. Windows actually has this powerful, kind of hidden tool that can convert your drive to GPT without deleting a single one of your precious files.
Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong. Most guides online will tell you to use disk management, but that method is destructive. It forces you to delete everything first. We're not doing that. We're going to use the Pro method, a command line tool called MBR to GPT. It does the whole conversion without touching your data. It's fast, it's safe, and it's already built right into Windows.
Step 1 is just a simple safety check. You're going to open up Command Prompt as an administrator, that part's important, and then type this command. Just make sure your main drive is disk 0. If it's not, you'll need to change that number. The key part here is /validate. This doesn't actually change anything, it just checks to make sure the conversion can be done safely. If you see validation completed successfully, you're good to go.
Okay, deep breath. This is the main event. In that very same window, you can just press the up arrow to bring back the last command and then change validate to convert. That's it. Hit enter and let it do its magic. The process is surprisingly fast, and when it's done, congratulations, your drive is now GPT and all your files are safe and sound.
But hold on, you're not done yet. You've converted the drive, but now you have to tell your computer how to actually boot from it in this new format. This last step is absolutely 100% critical. Do not skip it.
And don't just take my word for it. As the tech channel Bright09 points out, skipping this step means your PC just won't start. You've given it a new map, but now you have to tell your PC's firmware to actually use the new map. So, here's what you do. Restart your computer, and as it's starting up, start mashing the key to get into your BIOS settings. It's usually the delete key, F2, or maybe escape. Once you're in, hunt around for a setting called boot mode. It's probably set to legacy or CSM. All you need to do is change that to UEFI. Then save your changes and exit. And that's it. Your PC will now boot up perfectly from your brand new GPT drive. So there you have it. We've officially moved on from a 40-year-old standard to a modern system that's ready for the future. MBR had a great run, but its time is definitely over. And it really makes you wonder, what's the next piece of essential tech that we all use every day that's going to end up on the chopping block? Thanks for watching.